So we're down here at the Orleans Botanical Gardens, and what I wanted to share with you is it's always great to go to your local botanical center so that you can find plants that are native to your area. But if you look at this rose garden here, it's fascinating. I'm used to seeing a very structured boxwood hedge, and these hedges are very free-flowing, which makes a very interesting look. And I'll walk you around and show you the roses that they've chosen. This is Carefree Beauty. And then in this center section, and they've planted all of the same varieties together. So in this open section, it's Midas Touch. This is Carefree Wonder. I wish I had enough room to do something like this. It's just so fascinating to see the structure and how you build a hedge to add so much focal structure. This is Brilliant Pink Iceberg, an old blush, and this one says it's a China rose from 1973. Let's look over here on the left, and they've chosen Sexy Rexy, and that is Anna's Promise, looking amazing over there. Let me see if I can zoom in. How pretty. And Anna's Promise is going to be really tall, like a 6-footer, especially in this warm heat down here. And this is a beautiful obelisk with 2 roses down at the base, and this is called Lamarck. It's an Osset from 1830. I wish I could see that in bloom because I'm really trying to add more old roses to my garden. This is another old blush. I'm not sure I can see back into these 2 sections to see which roses they've chosen. But let's turn around here. And so this is Sexy Rexy. And I love this pathway here to walk down. It's just so inviting. And looking at the beautiful annuals that they've put along the base of the boxwoods. This is another Carefree Wonder. And it's also fascinating to me that they've chosen a straw mulch. This is Midas Touch. And it looks like it's in need of some volunteers to come and weed that section. But this looks freshly mulched. And this is Carefree Beauty. Let's go over to the other side real quick. I love this, and I picture if I could convince my husband to let me do something like this down to our water. I think in that open section it would just be so beautiful. But he says no. We'll see if I can convince him otherwise in the future. Wouldn't that just be so beautiful down that open grassy area we've got? Okay, so let's look and see who they've put in here. In here, this looks like a no-name. Actually, no, this is Queen Elizabeth. And it has a very upright structure, nice purple fresh growth. Mr. Lincoln back here, hybrid tea from 1964. This is a no-namer, so we'll just have to guess. I wish I could get close enough to see if they have a scent also, but I don't want to get kicked out. Okay, this is Julia Child. Let's look over on the right. This is the old blush again. It seems that they've used that a lot in their structure. Let's see if I see a name on this one. Oh, this is the Peace Rose. They've got one Peace Rose that's grown rather large and outstretching on this obelisk. This is another Julia Child. Sheila's Perfume, which has not started blooming. The old blush again. They've used that a lot in this garden, so it must be prolific. And look at this beautiful garden for butterflies, and I see Gara here. If you've ever been wondering what Gara looks like, it's very free-flowing, and look at it blowing in the wind. It's so pretty. But they've got so many pretty things here if you're looking to build a butterfly garden. Let's finish over here on the rose walk, and then I might take you through that butterfly garden real quick. So here's Queen Elizabeth. Looks like we just missed its blooms. Is this another Mr. Lincoln? Nope, Olympiad in here. Queen Elizabeth. Do you see how free-flowing this hedge is? Yep, Julia Child. Sheila's Perfume. And you can see we're back there in bloom. And Julia Child. I want to show you this plant over here real quick. It's beautiful to see Agapanthus and Salvia together. I'm not sure if you've considered that pairing, but they look beautiful here. How pretty. Alright, let's go look at the butterfly garden real quick. This garden is in full bloom. That reminds me of the rockin' salvia from Proven Winners, doesn't it? Let's see what they called it. It is a Salvia Armistide. Really pretty. Lantana is in here. I see a lot of bees. Bees balm. Beautiful. I love this. This is like a little secret garden. More lantana. I didn't realize lantana got so tall, but it's approaching 6 foot here. Sage. Bishop's weed. So you can get so many ideas while you're at botanical gardens. And what I really like, and I need to remind myself, is that I really like how they use groupings, larger groupings. Instead of buying just one plant, you would buy 7 or 8 and put them in a grouping together, and it just adds so much interest. And so here they've got Agapanthus, and I didn't realize that I could use Agapanthus in a shade garden. But look how beautiful these trees are with the yellow and orange and red tips on them. Is it I don't want to say it's a maple. It is a maple. I didn't want to test my knowledge here. I don't have any maples in my yard, but clearly I need to think about that because they are fantastic. So much green here, and then they'll bring in, like over here, swaths of darker color with, look at the green veins on that. It's just got so much interest. Beautiful. And then I see pink caladiums over here. I see white caladium groupings here. I haven't used caladiums yet in my garden because I'm it seems like a lot of work where I am. If I could leave something in the ground year round, I just don't want to have to lift them out in the winter to save them for the following year. So I have not used caladium. And then here in these beds, it looks like we've got 2 round beds that they've added that are ferns. And then over here to the side, I see Blue Star Bear's Paw Fern, Moonlight Caladiums, and I love this. And I love how they have a walkway that goes around the trees. And I do use gravel at my house for our walkways, but this is just a real nice small rock gravel walkway. And I think that these are so fun. I think they're called asparagus fern, and we can get those where I live in Maryland just during the summer. It's considered more of an annual, but they are just begging to be touched. It looks like they've got hosta in here. I wish they had things labeled a little bit more. You know how I love labels even on my roses because I can't remember what everything is, but look at that sweet little pretty bloom there, and I don't know what it is to tell you. More caladiums. And these look like crepe myrtles here with the multi-branch trees, but they don't have a sign on them to let us know what they are. But one of my favorite things down here in New Orleans is the trees. Look at these huge trees, and most of the time when we're seeing them, they are growing with vines, but then they also have Spanish moss. And I love that look. If I could have that where we live, it just to me is quintessential waterfront. I would love to have that. So anyways, this is their shade garden here, and I will see what we have in the next section. Ah, this is the other side of the rose garden that I was so taken with. So this is another section of the garden. I see salvia already. Looks like a white Agapanthus. More roses. Now, these are knockouts. So we're all very familiar with those. They still look beautiful in this bed. Jefferson is a found rose. Agapanthus is one of my favorites. I can't wait until one of mine starts blooming. Conrad. They have drift roses in here, but it looks like we might have just missed their flush. Let's see if we have a name for this rose. This is Lily of the Nile Agapanthus, if you're interested. They don't have a name on this rose. Look how pretty. Look at all of the color of Agapanthus over there. Lots of salvia. Hydrangea. This is a really pretty hydrangea. It's called a variegated hydrangea, and do you see how it's a light, the leaves have light green, dark green, and then the blooms are a purple. I want to sneak back here and get the name and see if I can get yelled at for being in the bed. There you go. I think those are poppies back there. Caladiums. like lemon coral sedum or something similar that we're used to. But I love that walk that just brings you down here. You guys, look at this tree. This is what I'm talking about with that Spanish moss. It's just amazing. We don't see that where we are in Maryland. Anybody who lives here, you're so lucky. It's just so, I think it's romantic. More caladiums. Oh, you guys, my heart just skipped a beat. I see more roses. Let's go see what this is all about. I'm so tickled. I love when you have a view like this and your eyes just take you to the end of the path, and you're looking at the fountains, and whether you had a statue there or just something, it just makes you want to go and lead you down to your garden. So I'm always looking for a way to do that by placing a bench at the end of a walkway, or just something that begs people to come take a deeper look. So let's see what's in here. I'm dying to see what they've planted. And I just feel so sad that it looks like we missed their blooms by maybe a week. But again, this is a very free-flowing hedge, which I have never seen. Maybe I don't get out much. Okay, so Puerto Rico tea rose. This says Caldwell pink. It's a China. I think these are, well, they're not irises. Maybe they're daylilies. A Bourbon Rose. Look at this little tiny baby in here. Just teeny. It looks like the roses are about an inch in diameter. Doesn't it just take your breath away? This is so beautiful. Let's see who this is. Another no-name rose. Have a beautiful lateral structure here for the rambling roses. Do you see it on the back line here? All of this. I'm sure that is amazing when it's in bloom. They have a Cecil Brunner here, but unfortunately we're not seeing it. April Moon, Marie Daly, another Noisette. These are Belinda's Dream. Beautiful. There must be some rosarians here that want to come help them. Oh, look at this. What a fun surprise. I just want to love him. Aw, he's a rose fan. Okay. This is Gay Hammond, a shrub rose, and it looks like, I'm surprised, as it ages it's looking very light, but they also have some here that have a more pink coloring to them, and then here it looks like as it's young it's a much yellower bloom. Marie Pave, Marie van Holt from 1871. There's Marie Tiller. So these are much smaller blooms. Oh, they have a Graham Thomas in here for all of my David Austin fans. Looks like they've got rust. I shouldn't be checking that out, but it's a habit. So Graham Thomas, and you can see down here how he looks as he's got a fresh bloom. Matabalas, a China rose. St. David's China rose. Martha Gonzalez looks a very bright red in there. They've got another obelisk large structure here, and this is a climbing rose from 1909. More old blushes. My husband here enjoying the blooms with me. Let's head down a little bit further. I do not see the name on this little beauty. It's a nice white rose. Maybe, oh, it's an iceberg. They've got icebergs in both of these beds. I assume that they've done the same thing with these front two beds here, that this is iceberg. Let me just check out. Smart. They did what I would have done. And then let's see what we've got down here. This is Winter Sun. Ooh, somebody's in bloom over here. About Face. So this is a grandiflora. I want to get closer because About Face is a rather tall shrub. Can I reach it? Don't tell anybody, I'm going to pull it closer. Look at that. Oh, they do have blooming up here across their lateral support. It looks like Napoleon China Rose is a large rambler, Duchess de Brabant, and this looks like it's only about 2 inches in diameter. Baron Provost. I wish I had seen that one because that's one that I have added to my garden, but I haven't seen it bloom yet. Okay, let's see who else we've got up here. So look how pretty. Okay, and then go around here and see the name. Corella Scott King. Bouquet d'Or. This one is OD Pink. It's a Found Tea Rose. Look at that sweet climber. This is Bermuda Kathleen. Darlow's. I can't tell what the last name is on that, but the bee is very happy with it. Oh, you all need to come down here. I'm sure that when you see this in full bloom, it's amazing.